Hey guys, welcome back to Rochelyn. Today I have a special guest with me. Today I have my best friend Danielle, who you guys have seen before, and today she's gonna talk to you guys about traveling to Jamaica during COVID. I know a lot of you are interested in traveling to Jamaica, but you're just a bit skeptical because of everything and the travel restrictions and all that's going on. But Danielle lives in the US and she's visiting right now, and she's here safe and well. So she's gonna walk you guys through the process of doing that so that it can help to ease your, frustration or skepticism about traveling. So if you're interested in learning about that, then definitely keep watching. But before we continue, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media pages at Rochelyn, and you don't know how it goes. Let's go. Alright, Danielle, so we know there's definitely a process to come to Jamaica, guys. There's a process for visitors and a separate from returning residents. Now, Danielle is Jamaican born, so she is considered a returning resident in some case, but she's also considered a visitor because she's not living here. So to come to Jamaica, those are the two options. She could have used either, but let's talk about which one you actually used.
Okay, so there are two forms, and as Rochelle said, one is for returning residents and one's for visitors. And I did the one for visitors because I am a resident in Florida and not in Jamaica, even though I'm Jamaican born.
So talk to me about where do you go exactly to sign up for these forms? If you're intending to travel to Jamaica, talk to them about where you go to get access to these.
So for returning residents, you go on jamcovid19.moh.gov.jm. And for visitors, you go on visitjamaica.com, and that's the website that I went on.
Okay. And when you go on that website, then what are you greeted with?
So the first question it asks you is, do you live in Jamaica? And I selected no, and then it brings you to another page. But if you select yes, I think it automatically redirects you to the Jam COVID-19 website.
Okay. Now walk me through the process now. What you like, some of the questions that you had to put in.
Well, firstly, when I selected no, it asked me for my first name, my last name, my email address, and then my intended date of travel. And then I thought at that time I was going to fill out a form, but I got a message saying that my account has been registered, and then I'll have to come back 3 days before my intended travel date to fill out the form for approval to travel.
And then 3 days before you went back on, and what happened?
So 3 days before I went back on, and then it asked me about 2 or 3 pages of questions. What's my occupation? Where do I live over here? My intended address that I'm going to be at in Jamaica. They ask you a series of health-related questions like, are you experiencing any symptoms? Have you been in contact with anyone in the last 2 weeks that has tested positive? Are you in a household with anyone who might be tested positive?
So they really get granular with the questions to kind of find out what you're actually going to be doing in Jamaica and who you're gonna be with, and these precautionary questions so that they can tell you, listen, stay where you are because you're gonna be a risk, or you can come provided that you take the necessary precautions. So did you feel comfortable filling out those questions, and what are some other kind of questions that were there?
Yes, I did, because I don't know, for me, I don't have anything to hide because I wanted to be approved, so I answered the questions. Some other questions that they asked me about the address that I was staying in Jamaica, they wanted to know how many people are in the household, if it's my household, or if it's an Airbnb or a hotel. And also on the last page of the form, it was actually the customs form, where you declare your luggage, tell them if you have fruits, vegetables, how many baggage are you carrying. But they also gave us that form again to fill out in the plane. Not sure why, but I filled it out anyways. And we had to give it to the customs officer when we landed.
Alright, so I know you would have looked at the returning residence form, right? Because you were trying to decipher if that was a form for you to fill out or the visitor's form. Now, just give us a little bit of what the returning residence form, because I know it's longer and a lot more tedious, a lot more questions, a lot more of everything. So, just give me a tidbit of what that one looks like.
Well, as you said, that one was very long. Like, I started it and it was asking me for so much information, and I reached a point where it was telling me that I would have to quarantine for 14 days, and then it told me that I had to record myself saying that I agreed to the terms to quarantine and that I've read everything. But in the middle of me doing that form, I stopped because I realized that that form probably wasn't for me, because I am a visitor and it would be impossible for me to quarantine for 14 days if I'm visiting for less than 14 days. So I went to the other form, and that's how I ended up putting my information in, which registered my account.
I know we have friends that were overseas and they were born in Jamaica, live in Jamaica, they're residents of Jamaica. They filled out the returning residence form. And I was told that there are some persons who filled it out and they didn't get a response for that, from the submission of that form to like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a month later. But the difference with the visitors form is that it is it's immediate,
instantly,
and then you continue to do the registration 3 days before.
Yeah,
but there's a difference, a fundamental difference with being a returning resident, meaning you're coming here to live, you're returning home, as opposed to you're visiting for a couple of days, whether it's for business, for to visit family, etc. Because they ask you these things, the different reasons why you're coming to visit. Right?
So I know people who filled out the return resident form and they didn't get a response until a month later.
Yeah.
And with the visitors form, when you first go on the website, you have to put in your information, your name and your email, and your intended date of travel. You go back on it 3 days before. Actually, they send you a reminder 3 days before your flight so that you go back on the website to fill out the form. And once you fill out the form and give them all the information, then you instantly get told if you're approved or denied. Then you can print the form, or you can just keep it on your cell phone to show the agent when at your time of boarding, because they won't let you on the flight unless you show them that approval.
Okay, so that's important, guys. If you're coming, you need to have that approval before you board the plane, whether returning resident or visitors. That's just it. That's just the requirement right now. There has been some changes since Danielle came though, because what she was required to do was prior to July 1st, 2020. Now, the Prime Minister had announced that after July 1st, 2020, that persons were required to get tested for COVID in their country that they're coming from before booking a ticket and before coming to Jamaica. So now, as it is, you have to get tested before you come to Jamaica. While she came, you got tested upon landing. But we're gonna talk about that more as we continue. So, we're at the time of boarding now. You have your details, showed to your boarding agent, you get on the flight, in the sky, flight reach, land, Jamaica. What happens next?
When you deboard the plane, your hands are sanitized by someone from the flight crew. Then you join the long line, and you have to stand 6 feet apart. And you definitely have to stand 6 feet apart because the army is walking up and down the line to make sure you're standing 6 feet apart.
So this is the soldiers from the Jamaica Defense Force.
Yeah.
Are they dressed in army clothes?
Yeah, their army clothes is under their gowns that they were wearing.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they were fully protected. And then you also had some ladies there that were checking your temperature, and they were fully gowned. They were protected as well.
Okay.
And they were the ones who were going up and down the line checking your temperature, and they're writing it down on a piece of paper that you later had to give to a medical professional at the front of the line. So at that point, you're standing in a line now to get evaluated. You have to go at a table and they're going to ask you certain questions similar to the questions that you answered on the form to get approval. And then they decide if you're going to get tested for corona or not. It's probably different now because you have to present your corona test results. The question that they were asking me was the purpose of my visit, where would I be staying. So they were just asking the same questions.
That's
and just
on the form that you fill out before.
Yeah, and they were just writing it down for their records.
So how long was that wait time from the plane door to evaluation?
2 hours.
From the plane door to evaluation?
2 hours.
2 hours? And then after evaluation, then what?
For me, at that time, I got evaluated, gave her all my information, and then they gave me a packet that then had in a thermometer, 2 masks, and also pamphlets of information about taking care of your emotional health during this virus and quarantine, how to wear a mask, and also they gave us some logs too to record your activities for everything that you're doing. You can write down everyone that visited your home and their addresses. And they also gave me another one that has some more information of how to protect yourself during quarantine and
yeah, so it's a lot of information, and I like the proactiveness of the government in doing this, you know, because you're coming in and you hear everything, you see it on the internet, but just the fact that you're coming in and you're greeted with masks, you're greeted with a thermometer, you're greeted with information. So you can't say that you didn't know, or you didn't know what to do, or you don't know how to wear the mask, because you're given that upon arrival. You know, so I think that's a good move. I mean, you cannot escape it. So you say no. From you leave the plane door, 2 hours to get to evaluation. While you were waiting for evaluation, you were constantly being sanitized and temperature checked by the army and by persons in medical gowns.
Well, not constantly. You got your temperature checked once and they wrote it down on the form for you to give the person that's evaluating you.
Oh, okay, so you were checked. Then you get to evaluation and then they ask you some questions. After evaluation, then you go get tested.
Yes.
And how long was the wait from evaluation to testing?
5 minutes.
Okay.
5
After
minutes.
being tested, then what? What happened when you went to get tested?
Well, firstly, I know that a lot of people are scared of the COVID test, but it's really not that bad. Just get a swab in your nose and in your throat. It takes like 10 seconds. Max.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm kind of scared. I'm one of those people.
No,
that
it's painless, honestly.
Really? I see videos of them down in a people's nose.
It's not that bad, and the nurses there that was doing it, they make you feel really calm, and
That's good.
yeah, it's really not that bad.
Okay, all right. So you got tested, and then you're out the airport in
probably 20 minutes.
Okay.
20 minutes.
So after being tested, then 20 minutes out for baggage, customs, the whole works.
Wait, when you're in the line waiting to get evaluated, one of the soldiers actually comes to you and tells you to download the Jamaica COVID-19 app, and you have to download it before you get evaluated, and they tell you what to do in the app.
And the app, I've seen the app. The app looks it's very interactive. It's very demanding, but it's a good initiative. I also think it's a very good initiative to keep you on track while you're here, because you know you have to check in daily, which she'll speak about later on. And I think it's well built. You know, a lot of times we get a lot of different softwares, and you're just like, yeah. But so far, I'm actually very impressed with the app that I've seen.
Me too. It's really good.
Because I remember I picked her up from the airport, and as we were leaving out of the airport, it sent her a notification saying that she's leaving out of the quarantine zone, because that's where her phone was first registered at the airport. And then when she got to the house, she had to register the home address. And you know, so that it can pick it up and then, you know, let's talk. Now that I'm saying that, let me say less and you talk to us about the app.
So when you first download the app in the airport, you get greeted by a welcome message from the Prime Minister, which I thought was nice.
I'm Andrew Holness, your Prime Minister, and I want to welcome you to the Jam COVID-19 app and website, an easy-to-use, centralized source of Government of Jamaica COVID-19 information and services. For example, if you are ill with COVID-19 related symptoms, use the self-reporting functionality in the app to inform local health authorities and book an appointment to be tested. There are many Jamaicans stranded overseas who would wish to return home. Use the travel tab to register for controlled re-entry. We care about you. Please use and share the app to keep yourself and your loved ones informed and coordinated with the national effort. Let us all work together to overcome COVID-19.
And then they teach you how to use it in the airport, and you have to record a video so the app can register who you are. And then they tell you when you reach home you have to change your location and get approved for it. And then as you exit the airport, I got, as Russell said earlier, I got a message that said that I was leaving the quarantine area. And this message is going to come up every time you leave where the location that you set it for. So every day you get a notification that says that you have to upload a daily check-in. So what that is, the first question you get greeted with is, are you experiencing any symptoms? And if you select yes, you have to explain your symptoms. No, you check your temperature, you plug it in. Then you have to
plug what in?
You type in your temperature at the time.
Okay.
And then you have to record a video for 10 seconds saying the code that they give you, and then you have to submit it. And you get that notification at least twice a day. I think I've gotten it 3 times a day too, but at least twice, definitely.
Because initially when you just come to Jamaica, you're expected to be in quarantine until you're permitted to go outside. So I believe the purpose of that notification is for them to check and just to make sure that you're inside, and so that they can have a constant monitoring of your temperature to make sure you don't have the COVID. Because when she first came, when she did the corona test, she was told to quarantine for 3 days as a visitor and await the coronavirus test before proceeding to go outside to the business. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So now that you signed up to come to Jamaica, you reach Jamaica, you go through the airport process, right? You download the app, you quarantine, you're good to go, time for touch road. Talk to me about your experience on the road in Jamaica during this time. What have you seen in terms of the precautionary measures that are taken at the different business places and the different places that you've been to?
Everywhere you go, in order to enter, your hands have to be sanitized. Like, they have someone at the door everywhere you go, checking your temperature and sanitizing your hand in the supermarket, at a restaurant, everywhere. Your temperature is going to get checked and your hands are going to get sanitized.
Yeah, and you can't enter without a mask. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, you can't enter without your mask. Like, all the measures being taken right now, I feel like Jamaica is the safest place to be, because you have to get sanitized, your temperature is checked, you have to wear a mask everywhere you go, and this happens everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel safe as a Jamaican that lives in Jamaica. The fact that we are expected to do all of these things. I just wanted to get the perspective of someone who doesn't live in Jamaica, who, you know, you're Jamaican, but you haven't been here for 6 years. So at least to get a different perspective from an outsider coming in. As an insider, being on the inside, I can say I also feel very safe, because as you mentioned, we have to do all of these things, from constantly washing our hands at home to sanitizing your hands once you enter any building, to getting the temperature checks, to wearing the masks, and even at my job, right? I have a 9 to 5 job, and to even enter the building, we are required to be wearing masks. At the entrance of the building, there's a sanitization station that we have to get our hands sanitized, and then the security guard checks our temperature. If the temperature is found to be over a certain number, then you are sent home to quarantine, and then there are instructions to follow about how to get tested for corona. But once you're safe to go, then you go on the floor, you go upstairs. But once you're in the building, you have to wear your mask at all times, and of course exercise social distancing as much as possible. Now, usually prior to now, we usually have meetings, face-to-face meetings with clients and stuff, but now all meetings are done virtually. We also work on like a week on, week off basis, because we can't have too many persons in the building at once, right? So 1 week some of us come, and then we alternate with the other co-workers. So we're put in 2 groups, and group 1 comes a week, group 2 comes the next week. Similarly to the churches, so like my grandmother's church, for example, they do like an alternating thing as well, where persons whose last name begins with the letter from A to M, they go to church 1 week, and persons with last name with the letters from N to Z, they go to church the other week, and they alternate it, because again, you can't have too many persons in the church at any given time, right? So there are these measures that are being put in place, and there are these innovations that have come about since corona, which I'm very grateful for, because now I see like, and the other day I saw an app, right, online, where you can literally go in and book your space in the church. Like, you can book your seat. I know they may have it in other countries, I don't know, maybe they do, but Jamaica didn't have anything like that for sure. So now you can book before, and I'm like, oh my god, we're getting there. Other little things like, curbside delivery. I know that's normal to like the US and other countries, but Jamaica being a developing nation, we didn't really catch on to a lot of these convenient things, and we're finally there now, because a lot of private entities are offering curbside pickup, delivery, and some other little things where you'll be like, yes, thanks be to God, So I'm very grateful for just people stepping outside of the box, taking risks, finding more virtual jobs, being more creative in the jobs, doing things more creatively, and just overall being more clean, because God knows we was a dirty world. We know the world is dirty.
I really hope that some of the measures that are being taken now continue after all
for
of this,
sure.
Stay.
For sure. I really hope so. I really like restaurants, for example. Like, I think the workers definitely need to continue to wear masks. Definitely keep, and everybody just keep sanitizing, like, just stay clean. We never stop some of these things, and in Jamaica especially, some of these things that have come about, I can't remember all of them right now, but they need to continue. And corona really hasn't been, there's devastation in some cases, but it has shaken up the world, and certainly shaken up Jamaica to have a different outlook on certain things, which that part I'm grateful for, Alright, so one important point I want Daniel to touch on before we wrap up this video, right? Hotel. Because you stayed at a hotel for some time, so talk to me, talk to us, because a lot of my viewers, when they come, they're gonna be in the hotels. What can they expect when they come to Jamaica and book a hotel?
So for sure, I recommend an all-inclusive hotel. That's first thing.
And for those who don't know the concept of all-inclusive hotels, because I know it's not everywhere, it's a hotel resort where everything is included in the one money that you spend. So if you spend $400 a night for that room, it includes unlimited food, it includes room service in some cases, it includes, activities, it includes everything in the one spend. So yeah, go on.
So I would recommend an all-inclusive hotel. I think what you can expect at the hotel is the same as everything that's happening outside of the hotel.
Yeah.
You have to sanitize, and your temperature is going to get checked before you go into anywhere in the hotel. The sports bar, you're going to have to sanitize before you go in. You have to wear your mask everywhere on the hotel grounds.
So tell me about now, like when you enter the rooms, what's the general feeling of the rooms when they enter? Like, because I know they have the common area where you go to eat food, right? What's the general feeling? How do they know? Because in an all-inclusive hotel, there are many times, in many cases, you have like the buffet restaurant where you go and you take your own food. How does that happen? How do they operate that now, given COVID, and you can't be touching and transferring all over the place?
Well, at the dining hall, the workers there, they're the one that serve you the food. You point to what you want, they pick up the plate and put it on it, and you have to stand 6 feet apart in every line, and you go from table to table, from area to area where all of the food is, and
someone serves you.
And someone serves you. There's no touching anything.
Okay.
And when you sit down at your table, the fork gets brought to you. You have to ask for everything. What kind of juice do you want? They will go and get it for you. So you're not touching anything at all. And when you leave, they sanitize the table and the chair that you were sitting on.
I like the fact that they sanitize just after you leave. I know they usually clean it, but I don't think it was an immediate thing.
No, it's immediate as soon as you get up.
Yeah, I know some all-inclusive hotels, they had that kind of service where the servers come and bring everything to you, while some was more of a self-serve kind of vibe. So know that right now, given COVID, everything is that they're doing it for you.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the rooms.
Well, in the rooms, there's a hand sanitizing station as soon as you open the door.
In the room.
Yeah, in the room.
In the room.
And there's one in the bathroom. Well, at the hotel that I stayed at.
Yeah.
There's one in the bathroom. There's one at the front door. And overall, the room was just clean. And they came and cleaned every day. They sanitized down everything that you touch. So you feel safe there.
Talk to me about the beach and the activity area, the common areas.
Well, in terms of the beach, I think that's the only area that you're allowed to not wear a mask. As long as you're anywhere else on the hotel grounds, you have to be wearing a mask.
So if you're sunbathing, you're just lounging out on a chair, you don't have to have your mask.
No, but as soon as you get up, there's someone there to sanitize the chair that you were sleeping on or sunbathing on.
Okay, that's good. So what about if you're, let's say you came out of your room and you forgot your mask? What happened?
You have to turn around to get your mask because they're not going to serve you. And when you're walking along the hotel grounds, one of the workers are going to tell you that you have to put on your mask. So you have to turn back for your mask. And I've turned back many times for my mask.
Yeah, because it's something that you have to kind of get used to because we're not a mask wearing society. So a lot of times I leave man, but what I do now, like on a day-to-day, I keep one in the car, one in the house, one in my different handbags, so that I always have one on my purse,
Yeah.
But I like the fact that they have implemented these different things just like the rest of the country, because I mean Jamaica depends very heavily on the tourism sector. So most definitely they would endeavor to do these things, which I'm very proud of. And I know a lot of persons are skeptic about going to the hotels because you're gonna be mixing up with people and mixing up with this and touching that, but they have put things in place for that not to happen. So, and for you guys to feel safe, so I would encourage you that if you wanted to take a vacation, like still do it.
Well, I will say, if you're planning to visit Jamaica for vacation, there's a lot of restrictions, but as long as you're okay with those restrictions, then I think you should come and visit. But if you're not going to abide by them, then it makes no sense, because you have to stay safe and keep everyone around you safe.
Yeah, and by restrictions you mean that you have to wear your mask, you have to stay 6 feet, you have to sanitize, you have to, you know, get your be okay with getting a temperature check, come through the airport security just like she just described, and just be generally just clean. So as long as you can abide by that, then I think Jamaica is definitely a good place to be, especially on the north coast where all the hotels are. Kingston have hotels, but they're mostly business hotels. In the Ocho Rios, in the Montego Bays, in the Negros, they have the hotels there. So I would definitely recommend that you still come to Jamaica for my returning residents, for my visitors, for my persons that have always wanted to come to Jamaica. Just come, but be safe, be well, you know, take care of yourself. If you're in another country that is not really exercising these things on a government level or on a larger scale, you take the personal responsibility to keep yourself safe, to wear your masks, to sanitize, to stay away from people, and just be well and be safe, you know, because we need to make it to 2021. You know what I mean? So yeah guys, so as I said, if you guys are intending to travel to Jamaica, I hope this video is helpful so that you understand exactly what it's like in Jamaica right now. I'll probably do a part 2 or something. We'll see how that goes. Let me know below what questions you have, and I'll try to answer them, get Daniel to answer them, or do a part 2 video answering them. So definitely leave your other questions below. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for just when me tell you say on support is strong. Listen, I'm so happy, so grateful, and I'm just loving you know. So we're going to do it. Big up Daniel.
And thanks for having me.
Of course, love. And thank you for answering the questions and sharing your experience. And guys, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow me at Rocheline on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one. So,
oh my gosh, I'm not care what look when I want to see this. When a business.
You're still recording. I'm gonna put this in the guys, look how much she look like down bottom. Wanna just look at listen, I'm telling you, this is bloopers now. We recorded a piece of this video already and we didn't realize the camera stopped, so I had to re-record, and it's a very painful thing. I'm telling you, this video thing painful. She just get a piece side. She never know the half. But look, up top well peachy, down bottom. I don't know what's in my down bottom. Nothing down there. Anyways, good night. Goodbye. It is 2:44 a.m. and I have to work in the morning.